Hello, my name is Laura Naranjo. This is a reading fluency instructional sequence unit for National University MAE 691 Special Topics, Professor Reynolds, January 2024. This is part 1 of 2 presentations. To begin, a well-designed lesson plan involves front-loading and information chunking so that students can be aware of what is to come in the lesson. Information chunking breaks down all of the essential elements of the lesson to support students with meeting lesson expectations and also prepares students to become engaged and participate during the lesson. Being aware and having clear understanding of upcoming lessons will allow students to be motivated. Effective teaching includes providing clear expectations, clear directives, clear instructions, clear learning objectives for students. Providing clarity will equal optimal learning. Andragogy equals student learning through integrated problem solving. When students are able to think critically, that is the result of effective continued integrated problem practice and problem solving strategies, which then lead to metacognition and critical thinking skills. I have included a copy of the MLO 1 concept map, structure literacy approach that I would like to take with this unit. You can see that I have labeled constructivism in yellow. A constructivist approach can lead to superordinate construct of structure literacy, followed by subordinate construct of teaching strategies and differentiated instruction labeled in red. The rest of the subsets are labeled in green, blue, and orange to support this unit. Here you can see that the chunked structure literacy unit is focusing on the superordinate of teaching strategies. Teaching strategies include phonological awareness, which involves decoding, identification of letter names and sounds. This then leads to phonics. Phonics is best understood as connecting letters with sounds. Phonics leads to sound syllable association, in which students learn the 6 types of syllables. Sound syllable association leads to morphology, which is best described as the learning of base words, also known as root words, prefixes, and suffixes. Morphology leads to syntax. Syntax is best described as sentence structure. Syntax leads to semantics, which is better explained as the understanding of language meaning. Once students have mastered both syntax and semantics, students are then able to begin writing fluently. This is Unit 3, Week 5, Day 1 of my chunked lesson for this unit. This instructional sequence begins with phonemic awareness, which is the first foundational skill used to teach and support struggling readers, which is phoneme segmentation. This skill teaches students to identify and separate sounds. Inclusion of a digital lesson activity allows for students to learn phoneme segmentation using tactile movement. This skill can be very difficult for most young struggling readers. However, when students can make that sensory connection between the letter name and the letter sound, and having that visual representation of the word really supports students' learning journey. This lesson will include explicit teacher modeled instruction. This involves teacher modeling while students listen. This would be the I do part of the lesson, followed by guided practice, which would be the we do part of the lesson, in which students engage and participate. Both teacher and students work together to learn the lesson. Finally, the you do part of the lesson involves independent practice. This is an example of a digital format in which students can use to work independently. The teacher can walk around and monitor progress to ensure that the students are meeting the standard. The teacher then decides whether the student still needs support or whether the student is ready for next steps for learning. When students need further support, then the teacher and the student can work one-on-one. This is another lesson within this instructional sequence, Unit 3, Week 5, Day 2. Here we continue with phonemic awareness and phonics instruction to teach students how to blend sounds or phonemes. In this case, or this example, you can see a digital board that provides students with directives, sound playback, and visuals. In this activity, students drag the red tokens into the corresponding sound box. For example, this word has 3 sounds, so the student would drag each individual token one at a time and then click on the speaker button to listen to the word. This instructional sequence lesson is part of this unit, Unit 3, Week 5, Day 3. Here we continue working with phonemic awareness, which is a foundational skill that students need to build reading fluency and reading comprehension. Teachers spend a lot of time with this skill, and until students have mastered the skill, then students can increase, or the teachers can increase the rigor of the skill for students. This is an example of a phonemic awareness lesson or syllable segmentation. Phoneme segmentation basically means how to take apart those sounds. For example, the word cat. This skill would teach students to say the initial sound, followed by the middle sound, and then followed by the final sound. For example, k, a, t. Followed by finally by blending the word back together to say cat. So students would say k-at, cat. So segmenting and blending, they both kind of work together to build reading fluency. This is again a digital platform that we can use, and it comes from our Wonders curriculum, and students are able to enjoy learning through a technology-based activity where the students can identify those syllables and the students can break those syllables apart. Similarly to the previous slide, here students use the red tokens and drag those tokens into the sound or syllable box. Once again, students are provided with directives and playback of the word, as well as a visual representation to support our English language learners and other students with special needs. Here we can see a picture of a crocodile, so students would segment the syllables by saying or by clapping or by tapping. Crocodile, so they can say crocodile. So this also supports not only syllable segmentation, but they can also, another lesson can be added to teach open syllables, which is another type of syllable that students have to master. Thank you, and the following will be part 2 of this presentation.